Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. DC, that B4L, reppin' that star, I do it so well. It's Puma on the toes, but the stars on the clothes. I'm Starboy, fresh at the DF Dub. Yeah, I'm a hard hitter. Don't stare to fit, it'll ego hit you. What is you saying, man? Look at the swag. Please do forgive the brag. I'ma pull up later in the Cowboy jag. Don't you slip on the drip, I'm flossing the sauce. Go so hard for the star. Yeah, that be win, lose, or draw. If you take a L, get the F off my block. Cowboys win. Guachos, pour up the shots. Really can't help it, got a star status. Even got it tatted on my arm. Yes, we be 5 green strong. Left a little room cause it's quest for the 6. Starboy really reppin' this shit. Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. I'ma keep reppin' loud until there's no more left in me. Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. I'ma keep reppin' loud until there's nothing left in me. Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys to the death for me.
Yeah, tell me who the #1 fan. Yeah, Mr. Westside, I'm the man. Dallas Cowboys from my head to the toes. They better recognize who the fuck I am. Damn, haters run their mouth like a bitch when they team ain't shit and my team stay lit. Yeah, I'm about to rep this shit to the day I die in an all blue casket. If you wanna get with a club with love, tell Star Status Westside sent ya. Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame. Emmett Smith is our main. Game time, prime time, all the time. Your team ain't never on TV like mine. That's because we different. We America's team and we run this. Like Zeke runs circles right at defense. Jerry Jones, that's nonsense. Let the coaches coach. And I'll have a smoke. And I know y'all wanna toast to that.
Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. I'ma keep reppin' loud until there's no more left in me. Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. I'ma keep reppin' loud until there's nothing left in me. Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. DC, that B4L. DC, that B4L. Reppin' that star, I do it so well. DC, that B4L. DC, that B4L. Reppin' that star, I do it so well. DC.
What's up with you guys? It's your boy West Coast. Yo, in 2020, I've teamed up with my hot boy, Jalen Smith, number 54, to bring you guys some of the most exclusive eyewear known to man. CEV. I mean, everybody's wearing them. Make sure you guys go over to CEVcollection.com today and use promo code CEV West Coast to get yourself a hot boy discount today.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us at Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My
it.
man West Coast from this month.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we live in the building, man. And do I have a treat for you guys tonight, man? Tonight, man, I have my OG, man, and one of my favorite players watching. Why? Because as my son say, I don't want to play for the Cowboys. I want to play defense. That's all my little son know. I don't want to play for the Cowboys. I want to play defense. The love, man. And this guy right here brought the love, man. We got Roy Williams on the line, man. What's up with you, OG? I see you, man.
What's cracking, man?
Shoot, man.
Chilling. Dude, I'm in my pajamas, dog. I ain't changed all day. It's like, it's -2 degrees outside. And so, excuse the PJs, but I don't care.
Shoot, man, it's all hey, it's all good. We actually gonna do a temperature check right now because you know we love safety. I need everybody in the comment box right now to put your temperature in the comment box right now, man. And I want to know how cold it is right now. And this is what we gonna do. Your temperature is gonna reflect the chance that Carson Wentz plays 16 games next year.
Dirty.
So Roy, I need to know right now, Roy. I need to know. And hey, man, I know y'all hear that voice, that old the Barry
2%,
White.
baby.
Hey, the Barry. We got the Barry White of Cowboy Talk, man. We got the late night himself, man. We got. Hey man, yeah, that is actually a Cowboy hat, man. We got Boss Cowboy Sports in the building, man. What's up with you, man?
Man, what's going on, West Coast? Always fun to do shows with you, man, and glad to do a repeat on my homie Roy. We getting ready to get it in, man. Like I said, I am the DOC of the West Coast Connection.
Hey, and I'm in the warmest. The funniest story is I'm the one in the warmest weather. So, yo, I need everybody right now, real quick, everybody in the comment box. After you put your comment, after you put your degree in there, I want everybody in there to put it in there. That's going to represent how many games my boy Carson Wentz plays this year. So real quick, bro, I want to know if you was putting your weather in there right now. How cold is it right now? Where you at?
It is -2 right now.
Wow. So basically, what he's saying is he's getting traded.
No, I just say you asked me what the degrees were. I gave you what the degrees were. I can't comment on what the Cowboys are going to do and what they're not going to do.
Yeah,
I can never get a temperature on their reasoning.
Yes, sir. Hey, my boy Jesse says 18. My boy Leon 28. It's cold out there, man. Dang, I ain't got a lot of folks over here where it's warm. Boss Cowboy, before we get it started, man, how cold is it over there where you at? Because you in Dallas, right?
Yeah, man, it's pretty cold. It's cold. It's below 30, man. My nose sniffling right now. I'm trying to play it off like it ain't a drip coming down my nose. So if you see me do this, I'm doing a Stephen Jones booger, because he the smooth.
Oh yeah, because
you won't even see him flick it.
Because billionaires, billionaires, when you be on TV a lot, you just can't pick your nose. You know what I'm saying? You can't pick your nose.
My boy Ross say, "Oh my
God!" You gotta, there's a way that that people it's you kind of.
No, I saw him one time. He did that thing. He kind of held it there for a little while, flicked it. I'm like, boy, you cold with it. Just like you on camera, and I'm just finna in your face.
He said
Dude, that's hilarious.
I know that flick was probably worth $100 million too.
Yeah.
Hey man, but hey, let's jump right into this thing, man. Let's jump right into this thing, man. And we're gonna talk about a little bit of safety tonight. And we also gonna talk about not just like, current safeties and things that's going on, because I'm gonna tell you guys one thing that I love about having players that have played for the Dallas Cowboys. I love the fact that they bring a perspective. Why? Because they have a perspective that they've been in a locker room. So they understand, the perspective of a player. And I'm going to tell you, I think, in today's media sphere, we always get the perspective of the owners. Why? Because they're always the one they're always talking. You always get the perspective of the media. Why? Because the media got a job to do. But I'm going to tell you one perspective you never, ever, ever, ever hear. I'm going to tell you a perspective that you never, ever hear is the perspective of the player. Why? Because, man, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. That's why we got Roy here. I want to know. Roy, I want to, I know you've been with the Cowboys and through contracts and seeing guys getting contracts and things like that. Have you ever seen or been in a situation where you see a guy get a contract or in the process of getting a contract where a team will not necessarily put negative things out there about him, but not necessarily support him in a positive way? Have you seen those things when you were playing in the league, or just,
Yeah, yes, I have seen that. And you understand the reasoning why. It's kind of like, and I don't like talking politics, but it's like politics. The left says something bad about the right says something about the left, just to make somebody look bad, to devalue them. You know what I mean? And so I have seen instances where, or even a player got themselves in trouble and then they make it seem like it's over the top on the reason why that they got in trouble, just to devalue them, just to put their value down, drop it down further. So if he was supposed to get, say, $15 million up front guaranteed, a $25 million contract, that may get pushed down to he only get $12 million contract with like 6 guaranteed. You know what I mean? It just depends, on how much they really, basically want to take it to that player or not. And sometimes it shows if they really want him or not too. If they depends on what they offer. Because sometimes I love my organization, because they afforded me an opportunity. But sometimes, they sit up on that high chair and be like, look, this is what we're gonna offer. If you think you get somewhere, if you get something better somewhere else, see you later. You know what I mean? And I hate that sometimes they take that stance. Because I'm in favor of players getting taken care of. And I have seen both sides of, them taking that gamble and it backfiring, and sometimes it backfiring for the player.
So then my real question that I have in there is that is like, should a player even feel like he should be appreciated then? Like, or like where does that, like, where does the common ground go? Like, where is the common ground? Like, especially with the Cowboys, I've seen it with other organizations, like where, like, even with Philadelphia, you know what I'm saying? We started this show talking about Carson Wentz. Like, they paid this dude, and he was technically injured when they paid him. So it's like, one would say that they overly appreciated him. But then you would look at a situation like Dak Prescott, where, we talked last year, and I'm gonna tell you one thing we were talking about this earlier. One of the statements that I've lived by since the last time you were on here is when you said that contracts and negotiations is about respect and appreciation. Well, then I look at the dealings of just not even Dak Prescott, because I see how you can just go name names. DeMarcus Lawrence basically had to tell the organization that he wasn't going to get a surgery until he got paid. Dez Bryant held out. You know what I'm saying? Zach Martin did it for 2 days. You know what I'm saying? You had Ezekiel Elliott. Like, it feels like there's almost like a systematic way of unappreciating your own players. And I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a messed up situation, honestly, because it's like, why? Here's my thing. Why even play the game, or doing the whole count and mouse, if you know that you guys are going to cave and give them the contract that they asked for in the first place? Why even go through that game? You know what I mean? It's like, and that's what I mean by the whole appreciation, because you can take situations like, take a Larry Fitzgerald. You know what I mean? Please come back. You know what I mean? They're like, no, please come back. We'll give you what you want. And then you have situations, say, like that. You know what I mean? He's proven
on the
himself.
first play of the game, you have to go.
And his play has literally been felt by the masses with him not being able to play this year because of the decline in the offense this season. And so it's like, why organizations play around? It's like, if this is your guy, take care of your guy. You know what I mean? And you mentioned about should players feel appreciated? Like, I feel, for me, when I played, I should have felt appreciated because you guys drafted me first round overall. 8th pick overall. You know what I mean? Like you don't invest that type of investment in just anybody, because you when you do that, you're saying that you're going to be here for the long haul. You know what I mean? And we're going to treat you as such, as long as you back it up, your play. And so, yeah, there are situations where people should feel, I'm going to say entitled, but they should feel somewhat appreciative. I truly believe that. And that's just common courtesy at the end of the day. Regardless of football or not, treat people the way you want to be treated. You know what I mean? And I know football is a dirty game, but at the same time, you can do it with love and respect. You know what I mean? Because there are ways how they have mutual agreements with certain players that were able to retire and come back and get welcomed in open arms, or there were guys that, left on good terms and they can still come back around, the organization, and everything's all fine and dandy. But then you got guys that, they bring in on a 1 or 2 year contract. They don't care. They're just trying to get another check. You know what I mean? Or trying to find a landing spot, or somewhere they can, carve out an extra 2 to 5 years to, extend their career. So there's different situations on how I would view should you feel like you should be appreciated or not? Sorry for the long answer.
Nah, that was good. Go ahead, boss.
Yeah, man. The last time you was here, you know how sometimes you say, "Man, I start thinking about some of the stuff that you said," and you was recalling the power of Jerry, and you was saying how you was wanting to be in the Ring of Honor. Remember we had that conversation?
You said, I remember? Did I say I want to be in the Ring of
Well,
Honor?
no, we did. No, I'm gonna just tell you, we did.
Okay,
we had that conversation. I would just tell you.
That I should. Yeah.
No, not sure, but I remember we talked about you wanting to be there, right? So,
Okay.
but you brought up, which I thought about later. You were saying his power because you said he went down one game and he made a guy. He
Reggie
subbed.
Reggie Sweating.
Yeah, he took Reggie Sweating out and put some
Joey Galloway.
And put and you were saying that's power from a standpoint of skipping a coach, you know?
Oh, for sure.
For sure. So I was making sure because I remember we had that conversation. It was a year ago though. Yeah. So the thing about it, man, is I was just thinking later, like, because you know, it seems to some fans that we still kind of dealing with who has the power over personnel, you know, from the front office or does the coaches?
Oh, Jerry, 1,000%.
Yeah, that's old.
What you like? Is that really a question?
A lot of us don't know. So when we're talking to the
like,
Roy,
he hires McCarthy. You know what I mean? It's McCarthy is the coach, but Jerry is everything. You know what I mean? It's a perfect pyramid. Jerry's up here. Jerry's up here. Everybody else falls in line underneath him. And being honest, Jerry runs that ship. Now, when it was Parcells, it was like this. You know what I mean? Parcells is like,
so you saw a difference.
Oh, 1,000%. Jerry and Bill said, like, hey, you're the owner, but this is my team. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't be coming down on the sideline. He said, I'm not gonna say he set them straight, but they had a mutual respect and understanding. Like, let me coach this team, and I'll let you run the day-to-day and marketing, whatever else you want to do. But this is, I got this. You know, so and as you see, I mean, team did pretty damn good under Parcells. You know what I mean? So
so just in your personal view, because I'm thinking the same thing. I think a lot of fans see the same way. When you have clear channels, you think it kind of make the players respond better or whatever. Just I don't want to put words in your mouth. But just what's your thoughts on that?
You said a clear channel?
Like clear channels, because you talked about one coaching regime was more pyramid, and then Bill Parcells was more like, hey, you're the owner, but don't come down, don't do all that stuff because I need clear channels, you know? So with those clear channels, you talked about the results. Like, yeah, you see the results. Those clear channels made us play better. And I wouldn't say that y'all was the most talented. Y'all wasn't like, well, y'all had a lot of Pro Bowls. Y'all really did. I remember that.
That was Wade Phillips's first year.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I'm getting.
But understand. But here's the deal, though.
Okay.
Think about this though. We had Bill Parcells' discipline, right? Then we had the lax environment with Wade Phillips. We played a little more freely, but towards the end of that year and beginning of the following year, we lost that discipline. And I think people.
Discipline
really
is repetitive.
They don't really appreciate what Parcells really brought to that team. Everybody celebrates, and we did have a lot of Pro Bowlers. I think like 16 or whatever the number was.
Yeah,
13,
it was crazy.
Whatever,
crazy.
It was amazing. But what's more important, getting Pro Bowlers or having a disciplined team that play football fundamentally sound?
You tell me.
You know what I mean? It's fundamentally sound. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we lost that. We truly did lose that, and it was crazy because Coach Wade was always in competition with Parcells, dude. Parcells didn't put these many people in the Pro Bowl. He didn't have a record like this one. See, I was like, does it even matter? You know, like, why are you comparing yourself to a coach that's not even here anymore. You know what I
In the
mean?
shadow.
Yeah.
Dude,
Hey,
it's
hey, Roy, what was that locker room like though? Like, because like even though we lost, but it's like some of us, I mean, some of y'all still had to get on a plane in 2 weeks and go to, I mean, where was it, in Hawaii, go to that Pro Bowl? Like, what would, like, I just, like, first off, you guys, I just want to know, you're walking off the field, what was that locker room like? Because the expectation, there's only a few times since we won a Super Bowl where I was just like, bruh, we going to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as a grown man, like a cognitive grown man, like that was like my first time. Like that was one of my first, like, you know, the time, like that's one of the games, like bro, like one of the games I cried about as a grown man. You know what I'm saying?
Was that
like,
the Seattle or New York?
That was the, if I'm not mistaken, that was the New York. That was the New York game. Yeah,
New York. Yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow. It was a tough game. I think it was Toomer that had the long run, man, that freak run on the sideline, man, and he scored. But I mean, it's tough to explain because everybody handles adversity in different situations, different ways.
Yeah.
So I mean, you had, you know, people crying, you had people pissed off, you had guys like, oh you gotta get ready for next year. You know, it's a mixed bag of emotions. It was tough, man, because when you get older in your career, you know these opportunities don't really present themselves as often. You know, or you know that your window of opportunity, your window of chasing that title, it starts closing a little faster. And so, you know, veterans were, you know, thinking about it, and you know they were talking, but I mean, it's just, what can you do? You lost. You know what I mean? It's just, you didn't do enough to win.
Yeah.
So that was a tough one that year.
And hey, to kind of bring it up to speed, you know, I kind of divvy back, but I kind of bring it up to speed. Is just like, you know, one thing that I saw with the Cowboys in 2020 is like there was a lot of mental mistakes. Like, and when you watch film of the Dallas Cowboys, like, yeah, people can say players, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, there was a lot of like guys just wide open. You know what I'm saying? And to me, like that's mental mistakes and guys just not being where they were supposed to be. I want to know, just from a player standpoint, the safety, and maybe it doesn't affect you as much, but just from your experience being on defense, obviously, how big of a change could it, you know, does it affect, you know, telling a team that you're going to go from a 4-3 to a 3-4, and you do that literally over Zoom? No, I'm serious. We did that over. Hey, boss,
we that bad, Roy?
Like, we did that over Zoom.
Okay. It's just the new day and age of what we're in right now with this whole COVID and stuff. Okay. So I mean, I get it. Like, it can't be in person; it has to be over Zoom.
Yeah. I got you. I don't feel the same, boy. I was like, what? He bust out laughing.
Like, we all like, yeah, we do Zoom. Zoom is.
No. I get it. I mean,
it's just what you had to do. Right.
Yeah, it's just the new norm. But
gotcha.
But at the end of the day, it's 3-4, 4-3. 4-3 is more of a, for me, I liked 4-3. But when Parcells was there, he switched us over. We slowly migrated 3-4. And that's for your defensive line and outside linebackers, they're supposed to eat. You know what I mean? They're supposed to you're supposed to have some dogs there because it's supposed to create a lot of havoc and the ball should be coming out pretty fast. But it's tough nowadays with the new nuances of how offenses are being run, having like 4 or 5 speed receivers out on the field. So, I mean, it creates some mismatches. But at the end of the day, football is football. And if you're able to get to the quarterback with just your front line, you can cause some problems, i.e. this year's Super Bowl. Tampa Bay got after Mahomes.
Yeah, they did.
You know?
Yeah, they did.
So it's at the end of the day, it does not matter what scheme you're in. I let it affect me because it took me from being in the mix, being closer to the line, and being able to, you know, get that rust off my shoulder pads the first couple of plays, because that's what I was used to.
Yeah, yeah.
And then putting me back, you know, cover two hella far back there, you know, and not even being able to really get a feel for the game.
Right.
That sucked for me. I hated it because I wanted to get in there and, you know, get rough with the linebackers, defensive line, offensive line. That was just my game. I mean, creating, just being able to be closer to the ball and creating stuff. But in this day and age, I mean, as long as your defensive line is winning at the line of scrimmage and creating chaos, that's when things start breaking down. Quarterback overthrows, underthrows it, tip passes, and that's how you start creating all those turnovers. And that 3-4 is designed to be chaotic. And I've been able to see it work in perfection, you know, with DeMarcus Ware and Greg Ellis and Marcus Spears and Jay Ratliff and Hatcher and Brady James and Dat and Dat Win and Big Al and who Aiken, and then T New, and we had Anthony Henry, myself, Keith Davis, and Ken Hamlin, or Pat Watkins, and I mean, we had some great talent, you know what I mean, that really got after it. I mean, but our defense, when 3-4 defense, doesn't even matter about the secondary. It's all about the front, the linebackers and D line.
Yeah.
So yeah, the front seven. So I mean, if they eat, man, your defense is gonna look out of sight.
But if they ain't, you in trouble.
If they ain't, it's gonna look like Tampa KC the first game that they played when Tariq down there had 300 yards in the first half or first quarter.
Yeah.
So
it was horrible. Go ahead, boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Roy. So I just want you to imagine me and you playing for Oklahoma. Then me and you also playing for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm your teammate right now, okay?
Okay.
And we getting ready to go out and play Philly, right?
Okay.
And I look at you and we in the locker room and I say, hey, Roy, I just want you to know that I ain't gonna go 100% this game because nobody goes 100% in football. What's the first thing you thinking, and then what's the first thing you saying?
Can I cuss on the show?
Yeah.
Get one.
No. Well, just what?
You get one.
No, I won't even cuss. I've never had one of my teammates look me in the face and ever say that. I don't even know how I would react. You know what I mean? I mean, I just.
Well, we had a Cowboy say that. We had dogs in our defense. You know what I mean?
Oh.
You know, so that would never even. I would never go on the football field thinking, or I would never even understand if somebody literally said that.
Yeah.
To me, I wouldn't even know how to react because we wasn't built that way. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just. It's just a different. It's tough to answer because I mean that wouldn't even cross my mind. There was 1,000 things that I would have to think about what a teammate said to me. It would not ever be that.
Fact.
It might be like, hey, I'm a little banged up, I'm hurt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, on some routes, just look over to my side and make sure I'm not, you know, giving a pass or something. But hey, I'm not gonna go 100%. Nah, that ain't it. That won't work.
This is the reason why I asked that question, is because some people need to hear from a legendary safety perspective. You earned your stripes in Dallas. You earned them. Like, people know your name. You're legendary. From OU to the Cowboys. Cats know you come hard. And then it's not just those that look up to you as your counterparts. I saw Darren Wilson talk about you as a young lion, a killer, straight up. Yeah, like when, you know, and see, you know, we also look up to him. It's a frat of safeties that we can say that guy, they're in the frat, you in the frat. So I want to say that because there was some people that made a statement like that before, and I was like, I play ball, but they not gonna respect me. I'm just a D1 guy.
Yeah, that's
you
weirdos.
know what I mean?
Weirdos. Hey, can I ask you
They're
a
not
question?
gonna respect me because I'm a D1 guy. That's what he said.
Well, it is people that want to hear from a pro. Just being all the way honest with you, because you know what I mean? Because
basically
you
what
in the safety, and it's like I was trying to explain it to people that it's only one speed on defense.
Yep.
Like it's it.
Yeah, it is one speed. I mean, it's people thought it was crazy because when I used to get interviewed back in the day, they would ask me, "Would you rather have an interception or a hard hit?" My answer was always a hard hit. That's just I don't care about anything else. You know what I mean? I played the game because I wanted to hit somebody, because I know my boys back in the Bay Area was watching.
Oh,
and
Bay Area.
I wanted to be like, yo, y'all see that hit?
Oh,
yeah,
West Coast.
you know what I mean? It's just that was my thing though. I love to play the game just because I wanted to hit. And I did see that the last hit or whatever was put together. No, they did a great job on it. But the thing was, when Woody said that, I mean he also said too, he talked about Parcells and the strong safety as a dying breed. And understand this too, that when I first got there, I played the same way that they played me at OU. And I mean, when Zim was there, Zim was really truly in my corner. And even though they implemented the 3-4, he still brought me down to at least get a feel for the game. You know what I mean? But once they got rid of Zim, they brought Coach Bowles, and I forget who the DC was then. Maybe. No, I know Zim. I don't think I had Zim for like 2 seasons, if I remember right. But you know, Parcells, when he got there, he was like, "Hey, you're not going to be a one-dimensional safety. I'm gonna put you back cover 2." And honestly, that's like death to a safety that played the way I played.
Yeah,
it basically took you off the field. It almost took you off the field. You were on the field, but you weren't like on the but you weren't in the field. You weren't in the action. You weren't in the muck or nothing.
Exactly. I mean, and that's something that Darren. That's what he said in the deal. He was like, "You just put around the field and you just turn them loose." Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my first 6 years, 5 years, they turned me loose. Like I was. Yeah. I mean, let's go. I got one order, and that is take people out. You know what I mean? Yeah. But then they're like, "Nah, you can't play it that way." And like you see what he said, he's like, "You can't play it that way now. You know what I mean? You can't tackle this way. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do that." You know what I mean? And it's like, man, they take a little bit of your arsenal away, and it's just like, man, what are you left with? You know, it's just, it was tough. It was tough for sure.
When you were drafted, if I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys, we made some maneuvers to come up and get you, right? So I know
No. They made maneuvers to drop my status because they had the 6th overall pick.
Okay.
Then they traded with Kansas City, which they got Ryan Sims from North Carolina, and then they traded 7 to the Minnesota Vikings, which they got Brian McKinney, and then I came in at 8.
Okay. So technically they traded back then.
They traded back, and then in that trade they were able to get Derrick Ross, which he had a phenomenal rookie season.
Yeah, he did.
And then Martin, I forget who he played. He played fullback. I know his last name was Martin. I don't remember his first name. But he was an Ohio State boy too.
My question is this: is like when you're getting picked that high, I'm assuming that you had a long conversation with the organization about what they wanted from you and what you were going to do. And I feel like the conversation, and you can just correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the conversation that you had when you got drafted was not what actually happened when you got to Dallas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, Like
no, not to cut you off, but no. When I met with Dallas at the combine, and I said it in the deal. I said when I went to meet with them, it was a dark room, and it's like they had one light on, like the old Mafia days. And I remember talking to basically Zim, because Zim did all the talking pretty much.
This
and he literally
this is before draft. Before draft.
This is during the NFL combine.
Okay. No
This
agent present. Agent present.
No, you don't have agents when you go to the combine.
Okay.
It's you meeting with the teams one-on-one.
Okay.
No agents are. I'm sure some agents are able to finagle their way into the combine, but normally there's no agents in there. It's like you're literally
it's you and the organization.
They prepare you for everything that you're about to encounter. You know what I mean? Wonderlic test, the interviews, the prying on your bodies from all the trainers if you had any previous injuries, and then the combine itself and 40s and all that stuff. So they prep you for all of that. So I mean, I was well prepared. I mean, and I told Zim, he asked me what I was going to do for the team, and I just said, I was like, I'm going to come to, I want to start some foundation type stuff, and he was like, Zim was like, I don't care what you're going to do for the city. I said, what you going to do for this team?
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, Coach, I said, if you draft me, you see my film, you know what I mean? And I'm going to play the way I played all my years at Oklahoma. And I'm going to repeat everything I did at Oklahoma here. So I'm going to get down. I said, you put me in a position to play and have fun. I'm going to go out there and execute for you. Enough said. And what happened? My first couple of years was them. He put me on the football field and I shined. You know what I mean? So it was an awesome meeting, and I'm very, very fortunate that I was able to play for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, there is no other organization I would want to play with, regardless of the drama that may come with being a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah,
it still was an amazing ride.
I heard that. Go ahead, boss.
Yeah, the last time, because I always want to just improve and just because I think about stuff later. And you were saying the last time we talked about how you lobbied to get the stadium in Arlington and was doing door-to-door work and all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then was traded.
No, I wasn't traded. I got fired.
Fired, yeah, but then fired. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Big difference.
Fired. Yeah, big difference. My bad. Yeah, but fired. And when you said that Tank wasn't signed, Cooper wasn't signed, Zeke wasn't signed, I said Zeke, Coop. Yeah, it was about 4 players that wasn't signed at that time. And I was looking at Dak from that conversation. And I noticed it's like he's doing the same things. He was lobbying. He went to a lot of the extracurricular games, the Errol Spence fight. He did a lot of the extra stuff.
Yep.
And he could be cut, or he is last. Why do good guys finish last in Dallas?
That's a great question. Please ask Jerry or Steven next time you see them. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
When you're talking about lobbying,
because I'm being
a lot of players. They asked a lot of players to go out to the Arlington, beat the streets, and so yeah, I was did all the United Way stuff, did the feeding of the community around Arlington, went to the mayor and went to all the city hall type stuff. I mean, yeah, they had no problem pushing us through that. You know what I mean? And that's when you start feeling like you should have somewhat of appreciation from the team, because when they ask you to do certain things, and this I'm not even getting paid. Keep in mind, I wasn't even getting paid to go beat the streets. You know what I mean? Because if you want to be 100, you know what I mean. That all the times we did that was on my time. You know what I mean? I didn't get paid for that. Those are on our off days. on a Tuesday, you know, that we did all that, or in the evening, you know. I could ask for an appearance fee or type something like that, but no, I didn't do it. You know what I mean? Because you're putting team first. You know what I mean? And hell, I wanted to play in that new stadium with the Dallas Cowboy helmet on. I didn't get the opportunity. Never got to even step field on that as a player in that field. But those are the times when appreciation should be given to players. And Dak's situation is beyond effed up. Beyond effed up. Beyond effed up. And I know West Coast is head over heels over Tony Romo. Tony would never have to. He never went through something like that. Never. And he'd even have a locker room as Dak does.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure
Dak has way more, to me, more respect and love in the locker room and leadership than Tony did. And this is no disrespect to Tony.
Yeah,
Tony
that's
really
your
wasn't
teammate.
that vocal. He wasn't that vocal leader.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
wasn't like that. But
You know what I mean?
He just comparing.
Yeah, and he led by example, which is great.
Which
you know
is
what I
good.
mean?
Yeah.
But as far as vocal leader like Dak is, I ain't even been in the locker room, but I'm just going off what people have said about Dak.
Right.
Tony wasn't that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Tony's smart as hell. You know what I mean? Everybody's seen him do his TV analysis. He's smart as hell.
Smart.
But as far as leading a team and having the locker room, Dak has that, you know what I mean? And that's I don't know if that's intimidating to some people or whatever the case may be, but you don't treat a player of that caliber the way that they have displayed.
Yeah.
That it really says a lot. And the whole, Dak has more leverage. No, if Dak had that leverage now, he should have had the leverage then. You don't treat people that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you the thing about Dak too, though, man. Dak is the quintessential nice guy, man. Like sometimes,
nice
you know what I mean.
That's why I asked. I'm just
like,
asking.
you know what I mean. I seen a guy, you know, a guy I believe is a dog. Is that guy DeMarcus Lawrence? And we saw how he be a dog on the field, and he was a dog in that contract negotiation. Like he through his agent straight told the Cowboys, like, "Yo, I'm not gonna come to Tramp. I'm not doing anything. I'm not signing no contract. I'm not getting no surgery. I'm not doing anything until you sign me on my extension." And it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like if you know, one thing I do appreciate about Dak now, and it's like, you know, I feel like my dog kind of had to, like, you know, when big brother go through something, you know, little brother shouldn't have to go through it too. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Dak should have learned from Zeke, bruh. Why you didn't learn from Zeke? Why did you have to go through this too? You know what I'm saying? Like last year. Like, why did you, like, why? My question is, like, the question I would ask Dak is, like, bruh, why did you think they was going to do you any differently? You know what I'm saying?
You know why, though? You know why? Because
what is Jerry telling him? I'm going to tell him.
It's not even about Jerry. I put it even more biblical. It was the more of the Christian in Dak on holding himself to a higher caliber and not have to. He shouldn't have to go that route. You know what I mean? As far as I have done everything right. You know what I'm saying? In my life, to give you no qualms or any issues with me on how I conducted my business on and off the football field. You know what I mean? And I'm going to treat this organization how I want you guys to treat me. And they didn't treat him the way that he has treated the organization. And that's why it sucks, because it's like and I do not take this out of context, but it seemed like I'll say it this way, the more stronger hand people that demanded more got rewarded. But the people that did everything right, which goes back to your whole statement as far as the guys finished last. But the people that do right by the organization always get shunned by the organization. And why is that? I have no clue. But it sucks because because there are other organizations that would appreciate the shit out of Dak being on their squad more than what the Cowboys have shown.
West Coast.
Back. I see no disagree. I have see nothing to disagree here.
Roy, I just privileged to talk to you, man, from the safety frat. We in the safety. I would
Yeah.
say, other than Donovan Wilson, we're in the safety desert.
Let me say
Yeah,
what we're in the what?
but I want to go back to something because we don't have this privilege to talk to former greats a lot. And one of the things I wanted to ask you with the Dak good guys finishing last segment is, what does this do to a locker room? Like, you like just real talk, being on the inside, being in the showers, chilling in the house, playing Madden with the guys.
Yeah.
Was it like when was what is it like when you see your leader being treated this way?
Um, it's it's asinine. It's crazy as hell. Let me say that first.
Yeah.
Then either there's a lot of things that can happen
Okay.
because that culture or that precedent that Jerry and Steven and Jerry Jr. and Miss Charlotte are setting
Mm-hmm.
is a very dangerous precedent
Okay.
because guys can either do a couple of things. Either sweep it on the rug, like, no, they'll eventually take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, you know what? F this, trade me, I want to go somewhere else. Or 3 is, you know what? Y'all effed up. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play it cool. I ain't gonna give y'all my 100% effort. Go back to your question that somebody said that to me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just take my money and just ride off into the sunset. So if I got a 3-year deal left or whatever, I just signed a new deal, I can give you my max effort. Look how you did that. You know what I mean? So why would I go out there and try to give my all and get hurt, and then y'all gonna treat me the way y'all did that? Now I'm cool. I'd rather just, go about 50, 60% on each play, try to hit my minimums, tackles, and, whatever, and be done with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a couple, I mean, there's a lot of
That
scenarios.
was 4 things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever, how many ever it is, I mean, those are different. But here's the deal.
Those are real results.
Those are real life
Yeah.
situations that can happen.
Hey, and think about this. The Cowboys don't take in consideration how this is going to affect your future deals that you deal with other players that aren't even on your team right now.
That's 5.
You know what I'm saying?
But they're so arrogant to think that everybody would love to come play for the Cowboys that they don't even think it'll bother them. That's what.
So that's like a lack of people skills. It's almost like a ivory tower type of thinking. Let them eat cake type of thinking, right?
That goes to the same people who are. I mean, because that's the huge narrative that people have against Dak right now. And like one of the big things, and I've never even heard about this. Like I've never heard of people. You work at Walmart, right? It's time for your yearly raise, and in your yearly raise, your manager say, "Well, Sharon, I can't give you your whole 50 cents because I heard that you doing hair on the side, and I heard you killing it in them apartments. I heard you doing Tuesday specials. I heard you got a 2 for $3 on Thursdays."
Man, put up CVs on that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I heard you got it popping. You know what I'm saying? I heard you even doing finger rails now. They coming for finger waves. They coming back. So instead of giving you your whole, your whole raise, we just gonna give you half your raise. Like that's the biggest thing that you hear about Cowboy fans trying to push now is Dak is like not the whole deserve, whatever about the deserve, but they want to say that since you're in Dallas, you should be open to taking less money or doing these things or doing less of this because of the opportunities that Dallas is gonna give. And I mean, to be honest with you, Roy, like my quick opinion before I ask you yours, I feel like in the social media age, like I feel like you can get it popping anywhere. Like Odell Beckham has like 60 freaking endorsements, and he's never played in Dallas. He's in Cleveland right now, and he leads the NFL right now in endorsements. So I want to know, what are your thoughts on that? And not to name any names, like this is a secondary question. What are your thoughts when you hear former players, man? Because now I've never heard where I have former Dallas Cowboy players coming out and saying stuff like this, like, yeah, Dak should take less money because of the opportunities and the endorsements and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's horseshit for another grown man to be talking about another man's financial status.
Period.
That's not right, because in this new day and age, I mean, I feel that it's giving people courage to speak out, either social media wise or whatever. Your example was spot on when you're talking about the young lady doing hair and working at Walmart. You know what I mean? If you're due a certain amount of money because the teller across town is making say $13.50 and you're at $13 and you're in line to make $13.50, but they say you only going to get $13.25, and you like, why am I not at least getting what my market value share is? You know what I mean? And that goes back to Dak. His market value is X. It's not anything other than what X is, you know, and that's not fair. It's not fair for guys. It's not fair for guys to comment on that, because not one of those guys, unless you're Tom Brady, took less money to help the team. Not one of them. That is probably saying something. Troy didn't. Emmett didn't. Drew, whoever else is saying something, none of them took less money to help the team. None of them. So they need to shut up. Like, that's messed up. Like, that's not even right for you to comment on another man's money. You know what I mean? Like, let's not play this game. I mean, it sounds like I didn't really hear any of this stuff, but it's like, are you taking the stance for the owner? Or are you for the player? If you're for the player, you should be talking about, no, get your money. Like a Shannon Sharp. I'm for guys getting paid. Most definitely. You know what I mean? Why can't other, here's the thing. It's like, you're either doing two things. You're either encouraging or discouraging.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So why being a former player for the Dallas Cowboys, you know what the organization's about, why would you tear somebody down because they're willing to fight for what they're really owed? Like, encourage that brother. Like, nah, bro, I'm with you. You know what I mean? Stand your ground on what you deserve.
Man, I mean, I don't it's crazy to me, because it's like, as a player, just think you're a player. You're Roy Williams, you're a player. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody comes up to you with that idea, what's your response? You're a player on the I just want to know let's just start. Can we just, you know what I'm saying? Can we backtrack a little? What would have been your response to something like that? You're in line to get paid, and say somebody that you played with, have a lot of respect for, and they're like, yeah, man, Roy, man, he should I mean, what would be your thoughts of that? You know what I'm saying?
If a player was talking about me on getting a
you next up.
Yeah, like you're next up. Like you're next up in line to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And I got players talking about I don't deserve it.
Yes, and these are former Dallas Cowboys.
But why? I mean, what's the point in commenting on people that want to be negative?
Right.
I mean, that's just the way I live. I mean, there's really no point in me even. Why give energy? That's like people say in this chat that have negative comments about, just say me and my play when I play for the Dallas Cowboys. Why would I even give those comments even in any life?
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's really no point. I mean, you either liked how I played or you didn't, but I played. You know what I mean? And I did what I did, So why even get those negative comments energy? I mean, because when you give negative comments energy, you give it life. You know what I mean? You give it an opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, linger on in your mind. Like, so you start second guessing yourself. Like, should I take lettuce? You know what I mean? Like, nah, that ain't what it is. You know what I mean? And and when I played, I was all for guys getting money. You know what I mean? But the thing is, you gotta be strategic about how you talk, because you gotta think about it. Guys, say I'm due in the next year or the following year, and I'm Team Dak, and I'm saying something that may be teetering the line of maybe negative towards the organization, but and that can come back to bite me when I'm due. So some guys may not just say anything. even though that they're really like for that, some guys might not say anything because they're looking out for their best interests. You know what I mean? There's a lot of cat and mouse with this organization, because who wants to be on the bad side of the ownership? You know, the people that are going to be stroking that check. So there's probably a lot of guys that haven't said something. Just think about it. All the guys that are talking in defense for Dak already got paid. Guys that have not got paid and haven't said anything. Right? Am I? I mean,
I'm sorry, forgive me.
I mean, to be honest with you, with Dak right now, his biggest thing is really former players, man. Like, I've never seen so many, former players really like come out and just like not to name drop nobody, but I mean, all the greats. I mean, they had a great hits. They had
great hits.
Yeah, they had the greatest
so
hits
common
come
sense.
out.
Everything
I
he's
mean,
saying.
the only person they was missing was Roy Williams.
I get that. I 1,000% get that, but it goes back to the thing that I'm talking about. Current players, the guys that are saying like are in favor of Dak saying he needs to get paid are probably guys that already signed their contracts.
Right.
But everybody else ain't saying nothing. You know what I mean? Because it's chess, not checkers. You know what I mean? They got to be strategic in how they speak. You know what I mean? So it's like, are you really down for Dak? If you don't say anything, or are you just looking out for yourself? You know what I mean?
You got to look out for yourself.
Okay. I mean, so it's just, it's, you know what I mean? You might be sending Dak message like, "Dude, I'm on your team." I think,
and then delete that message.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying,
you laying out the real of the real when you actually a teammate, and how to be a teammate and also be next up. It's great.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
West Coast. Are we still okay on time?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought about something from the first thing that you talked about when you talked about the lack of discipline. So you got a lot of people listening right now that just saw bad discipline, so but you said that a coaching environment can affect that. And there are people that are torn between the players sucked or was the cause of the decline, or the scheme was the cause of the decline, or the coaches was the cause of the decline.
Can I take D and all of the above?
Cool. You sure can. Because it's the perspective that we want to know. It's like, go ahead.
Well, think about this. Let's go back to when we had our conversation. No, actually, it wasn't. It was, I think West Coast was doing one of his Facebook, Instagram lives, and I said that McCarthy had lost the locker room.
Okay.
And when you lose a locker room, because I forget what the situation was, and I just said I think McCarthy probably had lost the locker room. When you lose a locker room, basically, in essence, you're losing the players. And then it's a trickle-down effect, because when you lose, when the coaches when the players don't respect the coach, you lose the locker room. If you really don't have a voice, and then when that voice, the head coach is competing with the owner of the team, it's like, who do I listen to? You know what I mean? Who's really running the show? Were you just here and you're just being the puppet master and he's just controlling you, or what is the case? And so when I had said that, he probably lost the locker room, and then you can just start seeing it's just a trickle down effect. You know what I mean? Breakdowns in defense, players getting hurt, offense ain't putting up the stats that they supposed to. Special teams isn't playing up to their caliber. I mean, it was just a trickle down effect. So I mean, it was all of the above. It was coaching, it was players, it was ownership, it was everybody. They self imploded right in front of our face. And one of the key factors on them self imploding was the value that the ownership, not the Cowboy Nation, the ownership doesn't give their QB1.
Dang. Man.
And that's what it is.
I mean, it's, the crazy thing about it is you look at the only way you can really see like the difference is like when you be in different organizations, and when you're in different organizations, you can then look back, on the Cowboys and see, okay, I see how this organization is doing, and I see how they did it, over there, and it's like, I mean, that's a really strong statement, man, because it's like it's only the most important position probably in all of sports, man. It's like quarterback position is like the only position in all of sports, no matter if football, baseball, basketball, that if you get it wrong, it could literally set you back. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like that's you know, that's when people were saying to Deshaun Watson. I was like, bruh, if I'm the Houston Texans, mad, bruh, you're not going nowhere unless I got a good replacement or a plan to replace you. Just because quarterbacks are just so freaking hard to find. And it's like once you get one, then it's like it should not necessarily about what can I find my next one. It should be about doing everything that you can to keep this guy, because the funny thing about Dak Prescott is this. The longer he goes unsigned, the more expensive he is. When you sign him, you actually start saving money because the market is still going up. I took this class in stock market and stuff like that because, man, all my friends, man, they say they're getting rich off the stock. So I'm trying to get rich too. You know what I'm saying? But I look at this and I look at how business is, and it's like if you're looking at Dak Prescott, man, he is the type of stock where you wanted to buy this dude when he was good, when he was young. I mean, he's good now, but it's like when he was cheap. Like in stocks, you don't want to get Apple when they booming and everybody know about it. You want to buy Apple when they in their garage. You know what I'm saying? So when they boom, no matter what you paid for it, shoot, it ain't what y'all gonna pay today. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I'm gonna tell y'all the boldest statement that I will say about Dak Prescott is this. Even if you sign him and it doesn't work out, you can always trade him. Detroit got almost 2 first rounds for a quarterback who has never won a playoff game. Like, so it's just amazing. And then you know what's crazy? And I don't want to bring them. I'm not going to, I ain't going to. I mean, somehow race just slips in it every now and then. But I'm just saying, man, I just feel like whatever you give Dak Prescott, the market is showing you that quarterbacks are going to be a hot commodity, no win. So you're not going to be stuck with him. You're not going to be in a situation where you can't move. So it's like for the Cowboys to just continuously to keep themselves in this exact same position. Like it comes down to, like you said, man, it definitely comes down to a pride thing, because I don't even really think it's about money anymore. Because it's like, bro, if 28,000 was too much, or 28 million was too much 3 years ago, how can you be okay with giving him 38 today?
Yeah.
Like, what has changed? Like, you know what I'm saying? What has changed? You couldn't. There can't be a $10 million, $15 million worth of change. So money can't be an issue. Man, boss, let me know something, man.
Yeah, man. A couple of things, just real quick, man. I start laughing in my mind because you just show you just how the influence of our communities have on us. My boy Roy said, which one would you rather have, an interception or a hard hit? And that boy said a hard hit, but the why was funny because my boss from the Bay, I would be like, did you see that? Hey man, hey, that's that hood love, man. I was just thinking about that to myself, and just I would keep that too, because my hood is super important to me too. One of the things though, real quick though, is you said to treat it in the QB1 right, in your opinion, was like a breakdown of the team. And the 4 things that you said was that could happen from when to a locker room when they're not treating the QB1 right, is they could sweep it under the rug. Some go be like, F this. Worse, you said effort could lack, which I can definitely see where people say, hey, man, why should I give it all if they treating the best guy on our team like this and our leader? And then you said some of those guys that get money hungry and ride off in the sunset. So for hope, if not treating them right does that, what if they flipped it? What if they did in this next month pay him right, treat him right, publicly go out with the money and say, this is our guy? What does that do to those maybe 4 things? Or what do you think? Because could it start repairing is what our fans.
Well, here's the deal. Let's boss, are you married?
No.
Okay. West Coast is married, right? Okay. It's that whole saying when wifey ain't happy, nobody happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I'm not saying that Dak is the female of this analogy, but if QB1 ain't happy, how is anybody else gonna be happy? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because everybody's seeing how you treating QB1.
Right.
So if you ain't taking care of, you know, our main person, I mean, how is anybody else gonna be happy? Because you think about this.
Yeah.
When say hypothetically he does get paid, you know what I mean? Do you know how much excitement that's gonna be? Like, oh
it's
man,
gonna be stupid.
Dak gonna be here for the long haul, at least 5 years. I got a 4-year deal. You know what I mean? We got our quarterback. You know what I mean? That those are good vibes. You know what I mean?
Jerseys
but
they gonna
right
sell.
now, who
either encourages or discourages.
We got Andy. We got Andy.
Hey, technically we ain't even got him because he ain't. Hey, think about this. Hey, I'm gonna tell you guys a factual statement. I'm a factual statement. Technically, if football started today, we ain't even got him because Andy Dalton ain't even signed to a. So I mean, what you said, like you could actually say to the quarterback position because like we didn't even really invest anything in really getting a solid backup. Like think about this. In the back of your mind, and hey, I want to let you guys know the star line is on. If you did send some stars this show, and you want to say, we believe in showing some roses. So if you want to give my boy Roy Williams some roses while you on here, man, please hit that star line. And all you guys already know, I'm gonna give everybody 30 seconds, man, because y'all long-winded like West Coast, man. I promise you, man, y'all going forever, man. But if you want to give my OG some roses, please hit that star line, and I got you for a couple seconds. You know what I'm saying? But yo, man, you know, I don't. It's just to me, man. It's just mind. It's mind.
Why didn't go West Coast? Why don't they get it, bro? This is simple, bro. Like he laid out 4 to, and you made it 5, but he laid
why?
out
Because they making money. That's
solid reasons why to take care of QB1. Like this is what I don't.
But boss, think about. But Roy, look at this, right? Even when Tony Romo was our quarterback, right? Your statement is actually bigger than what you said because you said quarterback 1. It's really the quarterback position. Because think about this. Tony Romo didn't get hurt one time. He got hurt multiple times. There was never a time where we legitimately went in there and was like, okay, we're going to draft a kid, and in 2 years, he's gonna bop the boo. You know what I'm saying? Or he's going to – because let's just be real. You can't say Dak Prescott because we know what really happened with Dak. Jerry didn't want to draft Dak. You know what I'm saying? Like, they showed the documentary. You know, he flat out asked, he said, well, why do we have Tony, we have options. That's basically what he said. Basically what he was saying is we have Romo. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they stumbled. So it's not even really QB1. It's the quarterback as a whole. Like, since Troy Aikman, we have not valued the quarterback. Like, I think the highest Dak Prescott since Troy, if I'm not mistaken, 2 positions we don't value, honestly, is the quarterback position and the safety position. I'm going to be honest with you because you are the last highest safety we've drafted. And Troy Aikman, no. Dak is the last quarterback and highest that we've drafted because Mike White was a 5th. So think about that. Like, and those are 2 guys that you were saying are what? Equally quarterbacks of their position.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
just we'll talk offline.
Hey, the star line is open. The star line is open.
I really want to say this, but I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers. But I'll say it this way. Out of all the other 30, there's 32 teams I know, but out of all the other 31 teams in the league, has any other quarterback been put through what Dak has have to go through?
None.
Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Then we can talk offline.
Hey, I mean, if Dak was in another organization, you think he's paid already?
I would think so.
You say you think so, or you don't think so?
I would most definitely think so. Without a doubt. I mean, I think so. Without a doubt. Then we'll talk. We have to talk offline because I can't be 100% open and honest right now because I don't want to be viewed.
I feel you. Go ahead, boss. I feel you though.
Nah, man. I think it's just everything Roy was saying, man. I think he think he's a great, genuine witness from an insider. I think he's a real insider because anybody can say they're insider until you actually put on the pads and you actually been inside the locker room and took them showers and played the Madden with your teammates. So I think we just got a great perspective, and just summing up everything that I heard today is, I think it's summed up in what he said, and just one of the best interviews I've ever had with you, West Coast, is you either doing two things. You either giving out positive energy or negative energy.
You're
You
good,
either
boss.
encouraging or discouraging. And it's just, in hearing this from a player, it hurt. Like, it hurts as a lifelong Cowboy fan, and to see somebody like Raw, who well spoken, as comfortable as we are, he's still very articulate. He's very, very outspoken, very careful on his words, even though he's out the league. You know, he's still watching, and you watch good guys like him. You watch good guys like Dak. And I'm not gonna lie, West Coast and Roy, man, it's discouraging. It just really is. It's discouraging to know that what can actually fix the team you love is not even the money. It's personalities, and it's decisions and respect.
Hey, boss, I got someone from Atlanta coming in. 404 want to talk to Roy. Hey, who I'm talking from 404? Is that ATL?
Yeah, it's Queen. What's going on, Wes?
What's up with you,
What's
Queen?
up, Queen? What's up with you, man?
I'm gonna just say just quick things, get it out the way. Roy, I've been rocking your jersey since I've been born under the star. You, to me, sir, were the personification of what it was to be a state.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Matter of fact,
no problem.
No. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give West Coast my address where you can send that jersey, and I'll get it signed for you. Cool?
Oh, that answers a lot of questions.
Oh man, thank you.
That answers a lot of questions because I had like 5 people in the comment box.
I want to say this. I'm more on Roy's perspective as a DB boss as well.
Yes,
With Dan Quinn coming over as our new DC, what do you think he could do to change the culture for the defense? Instead of 53 personalities, make it at least bring some of that attitude back of when men played football and when defense matters, because let's be honest, defense wins titles.
Shoot, I appreciate you, Queen.
Man, that was a fire-ass call.
I appreciate you.
Here's the deal. The last Super Bowl, when we just got done witnessing, proved that defense has won championships. Yes. But I would say, being that Dan Quinn coming from Atlanta, right? Mm-hmm. What did his defenses do before he got to Dallas? Mm-hmm. So are we really gonna be like, oh, he's a savior, he's gonna bring our defense back? Or can I get some examples of what his defense actually did statistically on what he thinks that he can do for the Dallas Cowboys? Like I really, because I don't know what they actually did, but I know that Atlanta didn't have a winning season. I know their offense played subpar, but I don't know how their defense played. So how did Atlanta's defense do the last 2 seasons that Dan Quinn was there?
Very bad.
It was average.
Yeah, and out of the 6 years that he was at Atlanta as the head coach, they was top 10 once.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but in his defense,
to answer your question,
I don't know. Hey, can I ask you a question too? Since before I take because Dan Quinn was a defensive coordinator who got promoted to a to the head coach.
Good question. I see what's coming.
So how much, but he is a defensive mind. Like, he's one of the guys who gets the love and the admiration for creating the Legion of Boom. Like, but he's the head coach. How much of him will you think was actually had his input or his scheme on the defense, and how much was him just like being a head coach? Because I would think if you were a defensive-minded head coach, at some point, why wouldn't you just step in and be like, bruh, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. And this is a guy who had a lot of success in Seattle. He just didn't have a lot of success in Atlanta.
Okay.
That's why a lot of friends are to bring you up, that is the reason why a lot of fans are confused. Because they saw a lot of success in Seattle when he was the DC, but they didn't see none of that success in Atlanta, even though because he was the head coach. And so we're wondering
how much has the head coach fought to the defense coordinator job of Atlanta.
And why don't they just be like, bro, we're not going to do that no more? Why do head coaches let the DCs give them bad names too?
Because it's one of those deals you don't want to micromanage your DCs as being the head coach. And I didn't even know Coach Quinn was with the Seattle for the Legion of Boom deal. So I can get that now. But so you have more responsibilities as a head coach versus the DC. You know what I mean? So I can understand when you have Coach Carroll, head coach, and then you're the DC, be over here, hey, let's be a pest today against our offense. You know what I mean? Let's turn it loose, you know. And so I can see that. And then he doesn't have those concerns of those added pressures as far as having to answer to the media, answer to ownership, have to do, news conferences, all that stuff that comes with it, speeches, places. I mean, there's a lot of added pressure being a head coach in the NFL. But
so you could see a guy actually taking a step down from like head coach or just from any just taking a step down. And hey, I got a caller 252. I see you. Give me 1 second. You could see a guy, taking like a step down and having success at a lower level.
But see, don't take his firing as a step down. I mean, honestly, because
good point.
Because he's still in the NFL and he's still a defensive coordinator. I mean, and that's why we got to talk offline.
Yeah.
Hold on, real quick, because I want to say something to that. This guy named Charles said Roy doesn't want to say the team is racist and don't want a black QB. It's disgusting. First of all, Charles, he didn't say that.
I did not say
that. And that doesn't mean that he was even insinuating that.
Yeah,
not one bit.
With Roy off air as long and on air, race has never come up with Roy. I just want to be clear on that because I don't want people in the chat making up stuff that didn't come out his mouth. That's the worst type of gaslighting that you could ever do. Yeah. So when sometimes people say they want to talk off air, sometimes what they're saying is, I want to respect individuals that I might have opinions about. Sometimes it might even be about himself, but I don't want it out there. So come on, y'all. Yeah. I just want to kind of just put that out there because I'm kind of sick of seeing that. If it's race, we don't mind saying it. So don't just assume it if somebody just saying out of privacy, I want to talk in private with you guys.
Absolutely. Hey, let me get this caller.
That just means you ain't invited to the club.
Yeah, for real.
That's what that means. Like, you don't be butthurt.
Yeah. You like, just not in.
See, that's the thing. Like, that's why I don't even like doing interviews because people want to take my words and put them.
But we got your back.
Jumped
on that quick.
And here's my thing. I appreciate that, but. Yeah, I want to talk offline. I want to have I want to have a locker room talk,
right,
with Boss Cowboy and West Coast without y'all being involved and me.
And that's okay.
Without y'all being offended, because Cowboy fans are easily like any offended. Other fans. They can easily get their feathers ruffled a little bit, and they might not think I'm true to Cowboy Nation, which I am through and through. But there's some things that I want to express that you guys might not feel or really appreciate. You know what I mean? Because you might be upset. Obviously, you already are upset. So, I mean,
Hey, but you know what though? Man, this is what I learned about this life, man. In 252, I got you right now. The people that don't like you, they not gonna like you. And the people who love you is gonna love you. And I'm gonna tell you something I heard today. Your biggest fan, I'm gonna tell you this. Your biggest fan, the person that supports you the most, you probably don't even know who they are. And your biggest hater is sitting right beside you. That's just how life be sometimes. It just be weird. It just be weird sometimes. 252. Who let me know who you is and let me know who you trying to talk to, man. 252, you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on?
What's up with you?
Davis, a.k.a. Keystone Cowboy.
Man, I heard you, man. Keystone.
Oh, my boy Keystone. What up with it, partner?
Hey, man, I'm going to give you a little bit longer, man, because you was waiting on here for like 4 minutes, man. But you on the line with Roy, man. Talk to us, man.
Keystone.
Yes. My question is for Roy, knowing that Donovan Wilson has been the closest enforcer since you Would you ever have any type of intentions to work with him in the off season?
I'm willing to work with anybody that actually wants to reach out and ask for any knowledge or any tips to the game. I mean, that's just the brotherhood and code that you're supposed to have, that you're supposed to live by. You know what I'm saying? The OGs are supposed to always give knowledge to the young kids or the young talent that's coming up. That's just what it is. So I would, I mean, if he ever was to want to reach out or get in contact with me, anybody, and that goes from back in like high school, folks that I knew in high school to college to professional. I mean, I'm easily accessible. It's my whole thing is if you want to get in contact with me, you can get in contact with me. I'm not hard to get in contact with. My whole thing is you have to initiate that. You know what I mean? I have a ton of people's numbers that I can call and reach out to, but I don't want to bother them or whatever the case may be. But if you need something from me, I've always been taught a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So if you need some help, you better speak up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 8252. Hey, go ahead, man. You got one more question, man.
Yes, and this is my last one. If you was to rewind time and start it all over again, would you do it?
1,000%.
Shoot, I heard that.
And I would horse color more.
52, love you, man. Appreciate it. He said, wait, said it. Hey, said it. Hey, I was being nice.
That's that killer, man. That killer still in you, man.
I'm just fine. But no, I would most definitely do it all over again. No regrets.
Yeah, man. Hey, I got a question.
OG.
I mean, I got a question. This is just on some parenting tip. Like, when do you think, like, with everything that, they say the concussions and blah, 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 when would you feel comfortable letting your sons play tackle football with helmets?
I got one. My thing is, like I do with my daughters and my wife, drives my wife crazy. I don't want to invest too much time until they know that they're ready to do something.
Okay.
So if my son, he's 3 now, if he comes to me at 7 or 8, 9, whatever age he is, and he says, I want to play football, I'm going to look him in the face and say, are you sure? Because if we do this, we ain't going to go half-assed. We're going to go full throttle, and we're going to get after it. And until they're that serious that they want to do it, then I'm not going to give it too much attention. Just because that was one thing when growing up, my dad instilled in me was, if you're going to do it, you got to go full speed.
Yep.
No matter what. You may not be, and I tell my daughters that. I tell my daughter, she plays tennis, hey, I don't care. At the end of the day, I love you regardless of what happens. But please don't ever let me see you loaf on the tennis court. And I just want you to give give you 100% effort nonstop. And whatever else after that happens. But as long as your effort is there and you don't loaf, I'm 1,000% okay.
Shoot. Hey, man, I got a last call, 408, man. 408, you're on the line with West Coast boss and Roy Williams, man. Talk to me, man.
Roy Williams, Bay Area, baby. What's going on? Hey, Roy, I've been rocking your Roy Williams jersey since day one. Authentic Roy Williams jersey.
That's what's up. I appreciate that.
I want to see if I can get that bad boy signed. And also, what do you think of Donovan Wilson? He reminds me a lot of you.
I think he's a young talent coming up, man. I think he has a high ceiling that he can be. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to like say, yeah, he's a headhunter and all this. He is. I'll say that he is. But it's tough with this new day and age on how football is being watched as far as officiated. It's tough for a guy to really cut loose. When after you make a big hit, I mean, look at his big hits. He's looking around to see if he got a penalty. That's not football. You know what I mean? It's tough. And it's like, man, I want that young dog to, let it loose. But it's like, man, it's tough because he in the back of his mind, he's like, man, I hope I don't get fined. If I turn around and I hope I don't see a flag on the ground, So it's a new day and age. You have to, and it's not even you have to critique your play. I mean, you have to change a lot. You know what I mean? There's so much going through your head when you got a receiver coming across the field and you can tee his ass up. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You know, you got to hit him low. You got to make sure he catches the ball first and take 2 steps. I mean, there's way too much thinking. But he's a young baller. He's an upcoming talent. He can most definitely be a cornerstone for the secondary.
I mean, just think about this in that Super Bowl. Like, I mean, these aren't big hits, but I mean, there was 3 pass interference calls in like 7 minutes.
Some of them were pass interference though, dude. They were like a little iffy.
Yeah, man, that was some pass the torch calls.
Yeah, nah, that was.
It always gets weird with the pass interference when the ball is either in play or not in play. You know what I'm saying? Because like if it's not catchable. Like if it's not a catchable ball, then you know the referee can't throw the flag on it. But a lot of times the referee isn't looking at the ball; the referee is looking at the players. So it's like you already got the wrong person making the call. You know what I'm saying?
That's especially at first. I think it was the very first PI against Mike. Is it Evans?
Yeah, the one that made
their feet just get tangled up. Their feet
they got tangled up.
Tangled up, and then think about the one that the Tyrann Mathieu back in the end zone. Back in the end zone, like unless you're Dez Bryant, bro, you're not getting that one. Hey, I got some. Hey, last thing.
They walked them all the way downfield on flags.
Hey, last thing before we let you up out of here, man. I got a couple names. I don't know if you want to play this game, but we're gonna do it anyway. There been some. I'm gonna give you 3 names, and I want you to say yes or no on the Hall of Fame, and then I also want to before I even start this, I want to ask you a question. Who's a dog that you played with the Dallas Cowboys that nobody talks about, but when I asked you this question, his name popped in your head?
Keith Davis.
All right.
Dirty. I call him Dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Keith Davis, 1,000%.
Wow.
I mean, he was that was my guy. That was my guy. Like, I mean, we came in together. Keith Davis, 1,000%.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so here we go. These are the names. These are the 3 names. These are the 2 of these names have been brought up, and then they trying to push for 1. So first one, DeMarcus Ware.
1,000%.
Getting in.
HOF.
All right. Tony Romo.
Tony should get in. I'm not even gonna. Yep, he should get in.
Your OG Woodson.
1,000%. He should already been in.
Yeah, because, I mean, when you got guys like Atwater and some of the other safeties that are in there, like, man, he personifies that, man.
But here's my thing. And that it doesn't even matter that Atwater's in, because he deserves to be in.
Yeah, he does. I don't want people to think I'm not saying that Atwater shouldn't be. I'm just saying that there's a clone in there too.
No, for sure. I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves to get on being initiated in the Hall of Fame. I mean, Woody's had a phenomenal career. I mean, he's the leading secondary tackle for the Cowboys, has 5 Pro Bowls, has 3 freaking Super Bowl rings. You know what I mean? He's an all-pro. You know, what more does he need to do?
Could get down there and cover the nickel, man.
Yeah, no.
He sure did.
God damn. Like, balls don't know how rare it is just to get down there in the slot and be still shut down.
Yes. And he was all of that.
Why do you think guys like, I think part of the reason why, whether it be positive or negative, is because like he just not in the media like that. Like he just on his construction.
He seemed like he's just so straight shooter.
Yeah,
he's just like, and people don't like that.
But
like,
you get what I mean.
But them the best people for you. You know what I mean?
What I mean by straight shooter is like he not really like studying, like trying to be like in the media, he's just on his own thing. So it's like like a T.O. Like T.O. was ambassadoring, like he was lobbying. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy my dude Drew Pearson, and I ain't gonna lie, I believe the nation helped Drew last year too, because when they did that shady stuff and they told him no on national TV, that's one of the few times where I saw the whole nation stand up and was like, nah, fam, we got to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? So there was a huge push behind that, but I think that like that's honestly. I mean, I think that's why I think Tony's gonna end up getting in. I think the whole CBS push and all that's gonna help Tony get in. You know what I'm saying? I think
that's what's gonna do it.
Like I
CBS.
think if you fade away and just kind of go live your life and make your own money, you know, the NFL just kind of be like, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's about marketing.
That's what I believe. Like I believe if Woody was on, if he was on CBS,
like a lot of them
talking
cats got
CBS
in
football,
way earlier, bro, than they would have if they wouldn't have been on television, bro. Like, and no, there's no shade on any of them, but Terrell Davis and LaDainian, it was a little bit too soon according to history, right? So, like some of those guys, first ballot's supposed to be a whole nother level, you know, and some of them guys didn't have to wait, and Romo gonna be real soon because I think you're right. It's gonna be CBS because they trying to put yellow jackets on those guys to say that we have a Hall of Fame
announcer.
Mm-hmm.
And Romo's
so
my
the
dog.
guys that's the real dogs, like my boy Roy Williams, like who at least should be in the Ring of Honor. I'm gonna put my lobby on that for real. And I wouldn't definitely do that if I don't believe you deserved it, because this is my city. Like, you know what I mean? Like, straight up, this is more than just the Cowboys. This is my own city.
I appreciate that. And West Coast, I appreciate you putting up those stats or whatnot. And you were spot on in what you're saying. Like, I mean, like if you really think about it, I played seven seasons in Dallas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was on IR in one of those seasons. And that season was it 2008 when I broke my arm, right? So five seasons out of my 6 seasons, I went to the Pro Bowl, and actually, arguably, I should have probably went fucking 6 times out of 6 my rookie season as well.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Should have been rookie of the year, rookie year.
You know what I mean? And so, I mean, I averaged two interceptions. You know what I mean? Each of those seasons or whatever it was, I averaged that. I mean, I had more in some seasons. You know, like I put up stats. You know what I mean? I mean, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, all that. You know, like I mean, I was a disruptor for those 6 seasons. I mean, in my 6 seasons with the Cowboys, I had 19 interceptions.
Jesus.
Like,
yeah, and a lot of people sleep on that too. And I'm gonna tell you, it was 19 interceptions, and you had 20 fumbles or it was either fumbles or fumbles recovers. Like either caused the fumble and somebody else did it, or you recovered a fumble. So when I would, you know, I just rounded off. I'm like, bro, that's 40. I'm 39 doesn't 39 sounds cool, but 40 sounds better. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, that's 40. But think about that. That's 40 times you initiated a turnover. 40.
We thirsty for safety. We ain't seen that in
40.
so long.
Yeah. So
like, and we're a team that's
we ain't seen
losing.
this type of ball skills, turnovers, and disruption since Roy. This is the last time we saw a real. Church was solid. Now, I'm not knocking Church. Church was a solid tackler. You know what I mean? But he wasn't getting that ball. No, he wasn't getting that ball. But he wasn't gonna miss no tackle though. But like I'm talking about just complete. I get the ball. I bang you. Since Roy.
Yeah. So.
Hey, and I appreciate you, man. We've been on here about an hour and 30 minutes, boss man. You got anything before we let him go?
Bro, man. Whoever talked to Roy after the hours, just let me know because I want to be in the gossip. I really do.
Hey, man. Well, hey, bro, I appreciate you, man. You know, a part of my shield here is I had this thing called Defenders of the Star, and that's just, you know, just defenders of and that's, to me, that's just defender of what I love. You know what I'm saying? I love Cowboy football, and a lot of times I found myself defending the Star against Jerry Jones, you know what I'm saying, and against the people who are at to put it up, you know what I'm saying? And what I've also noticed, and what I've wanted to make sure my brand has always been able to give, you know, current players, former players, an avenue, a safe place where they can come and actually speak their truth.
Ain't nobody trying to get you over.
Yeah, actually speak their truth. You know what I'm saying? Of what
got you
exactly of what's going on. So OG, I just want to let you know, man, I appreciate you, man. And I'm gonna keep on thumping, man. And shoot, man, at some point, man, we gonna see you in the middle in that Star, man. They gonna do it.
West Coast and the DOC.
Yeah, Jerry
man.
gonna do it. Hey, Jerry gonna do it, man. You may have to play a little politics. I ain't gonna lie. You might have to kiss some babies, and you may have to hug some kids, and you know.
I mean, that would honestly be a blessing, but I honestly just don't see that happening. Just to be honest, I don't. So I mean, not to play coy or whatever. I just don't. I don't really see it. I don't really see it happen. I don't think I get. I don't think I get appreciated or valued in that regard when it comes to cowboy history, and that's just what it is. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I can be wrong, but it says a lot when I talked to you before before they released me and they asked me what is there anything that they can do for me, and I asked them, can I retire as a cowboy? And I'm still yet to retire as a cowboy. It says a lot, and when I say they, I'm talking about Jerry and Steven. When they called to let me go, I asked them, can I retire as a cowboy when it's all said and done? They're like, without a doubt, yes. And I went when Darren was getting inducted into the Ring of Honor. I had seen Steven and Jerry on the sideline, and I went up to both of them. I said, I thought you were going to let me retire as a cowboy. Nothing. No reaction on the face. Like, it's like I caught him off guard. And I did that 2 times. I did that to Steven 2 times, and I did it to Jerry 2 times. And nothing has happened. And that, to me, that says a lot. So when you're talking about Ring of Honor, I just don't see it happening. I mean, if they can't keep their word on letting me retire as a cowboy, why would I even think about that? I mean, my thing is, it's like, look, I was blessed enough to play 9 years in the league, 7 of them with Dallas, which was a blessing. And that's just, that's what makes me smile. I did everything right by the Cowboys.
And the beautiful thing though, Roy, man, is your name good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking.
1,000%.
And our fans would tell you if you was a mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and they speaking on her live is pure praise.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, in this group, they would say it. And like, so your name is already legendary, whether they put you in that or not. You know,
and
straight up.
think about this, man. There was a point in the early 2000s where Roy was all we had. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, a lot of people in California, like, let's just keep it real. A lot of people in California have Roy Williams jerseys because in California, that was the only Cowboy jersey you were getting. You know what I'm saying? Like, at your Target or at the not Target, it was a Big Five. Big Five only had Roy Williams jerseys. And back then, we didn't even understand it was the California connection. We just realized that was just the only let's just be real. Like, you could not.
That's what's up.
Like,
but that's respect, man.
Like,
that's
if you
respect
go in Dallas
when you
Nation,
reach a whole nother coast, man.
I mean, and just keep it real. Like, I mean, when we was growing up, that's what everybody had. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember my boy.
It would be so perfect to do it now because the fan base so thirsty for safety, bro. Like, sometimes you got to remind them of what greatness is, and then when they walk out and you, if they even allowed you to retire, just even a statement, the fans need to remember what safety is and why it's important and why they make plays and why they get the ball and why they the quarterbacks of the defense sometimes with the linebackers. It's like, man, we done forgot.
Yeah. Hey, man, funny story, man. I remember my homeboy got suspended because he had, obviously, he was wearing a Cowboy Roy Williams jersey. He ain't getting no fight or nothing. But just the cut, because, you know, in California, reds and blues was just off limits. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cowboy fan. Sure. Like, I was a Cowboy fan who could never wear Cowboy jerseys at school. Like, people be like, hey, why I don't see you with no Cowboy jerseys on in high school? Because I couldn't. Exactly. Like, you know what's up. Like, I was a Cowboy fan, but we just couldn't wear it. Like, you couldn't wear it at my school. But my boy, I remember my boy got suspended for wearing a blue, and it wasn't even, I'm gonna tell you which jersey it was. It was the freaking because these the flyest jersey ever, the Pro Bowl, that Pro Bowl jersey. And that the you know, the red, white, you know what I'm saying, with the blue, got suspended for a day. You know what I'm saying? That's how crazy it is in Cali. You know what I'm saying? But Roy, man, I appreciate you having you on here tonight, man. It has truly been a blessing, man. Man, I know you got kids, so I know you had to keep the kids quiet for an hour and a half. So, man.
Nah, they're with mom, man. Mom did an awesome job.
Well, shoot, salute her. Salute her. I said, well, salute to her for holding it down, man.
1,000%, all day, every day.
All right, well, Roy, I'm gonna let you go, man. You have a blessed evening, man. I appreciate you for tapping in with us tonight.
Nah, anytime, man. I'm always open to jump on and, you know, talk Cowboy football. And I mean, I just appreciate, I can't see everybody that's been on, but I just appreciate everybody support you guys, man, and just keep that energy, man, because it's needed in this world. And I mean, Cowboys getting back to dominance is most definitely dire, desperate. We need to get that back. So
yeah, man.
Hey,
let's keep that positive energy going.
I tell everybody when the Cowboys win a Super Bowl, the whole United States gonna be like a fart. You know, you be holding that fart in all day, and you just let it go. You, be, like, you know how it be. You let it go. You be like, I feel good now. I feel good now. Like that's what needs the whole United States needed. AOG, you be blessed. I'm gonna let you go. You be blessed, sir.
All right, I'm gonna stay on because I want to circle back with y'all.
All right, for shizzle.
That's what's up. Yeah. OG, that's what I said. I wanted this too, for sure.
All right, hey, boss man, let me slide up here. Hey, man, let's wrap it up real quick. Wrap it up.
Let's wrap, man.
Wrap
I'm
it
ready.
up real
Let's
quick.
Go.
Wrap it up real quick, man. So, yo, man, tonight's show was extremely, extremely epic. You know what I'm saying? Extremely, extremely epic. You know, I think that you know, Roy always gives us that insight that we looking for, and you know, just I think my biggest take from this conversation is that I think we need to do away with this conversation of it's just business. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, you know, I'll get to walk up to someone and I get to slap them right in their face, and they get to hit me. Then when they go to hit me back, I say, no, stop. Why?
It's just business.
It was just business.
Right.
So it's like I feel like if it's business, like if I get to slap you back, you know what that's called? That means we're fighting. But when one person's only getting slapped, it's doing the slapping, and the other person getting hit, that's called business. I think we need to do away with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you guys something else about that Roy let me insight on is this. It's not like that everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? So every other else is figuring out ways to do it. Like, think about this. If you guys don't believe in Dak, Philly didn't believe in Wentz and still paid him. So it's like, I am lost for words.
It was too meaty, man. Like, and I'm gonna just sum it up real quick too, especially knowing he waiting in the cut. One of the things that also stood out to me is when he was referencing Dak and he was speaking, because the key thing about talking to Roy, as everybody listening in, is when you listening to Roy, you listening to somebody who was in line for those types of paydays. So he can give you insight as a top premier traveling Pro Bowl type guy. And when he said market is not anything under what X is. Yeah. That's exactly what he said. And West Coast, out of all the interviews I've ever done, I've never taken notes like this. Like I was like, and it was notes not just on just learning about high level fights when it comes to contracts, but it was also the knowledge of what it really does to a locker room from a guy on the inside, about the mentality of defense and how he would have responded if I would have came to him and saying I'm not giving 100%. And he couldn't even register that type of mentality from a dog mind state. It just shows you that it's we got some ways to go, and we got to keep preaching like we're preaching, brother. Just straight up. I mean, and I can go on and on, man, but I know he waiting in the cup, but this was meaty, man. Roy, so he gave the Cowboy Nation his whole soul today in terms of what it's really like. And see, you said this the last time, West Coast, and I don't think people took heed. He said, take it as a privilege when you get somebody of his caliber that's going to come tell you what it's really like, and then don't start saying the opposite. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what you said. When they come in here and tell you that contracts are about respect and appreciation, don't go out there and say that Dak is greedy and this dumb stuff.
So basically, don't argue with an NFL player about, you know what I mean? Like,
that's like you don't get to talk to 6-time Pro Bowl, 5-time Pro Bowlers.
And tell them they're wrong,
bro. Yeah, there's no. It's only so many people that ever sat in that seat, bro. Mm-hmm. So when they telling you what it's like to watch their captain, their leader, He never disrespected Romo. He said Romo was not that type of leader. He never said Romo was bad. He said he just played by example. Dak is another level of leader because he leads by example and he energizes that locker room from a lot of sources. He laid it out tonight.
Yeah.
If you just weren't paying attention, that's on you.
Yeah, man.
But no, we got like this was prime steak tonight.
Yeah, it was good eating tonight, man. Hey, and I want to let you guys also know next Wednesday, man. Next Wednesday, I got a special guest coming in. Next Wednesday, we're gonna have man, a cowboy. We actually mentioned him tonight, man. We got Barry Church stopping by next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, same time, 8 p.m. Central. We're gonna be talking about Cowboys up-to-date news. We're gonna be talking about Dak Prescott. He is a huge no tank. You know, he was really, really big on Team No Tank this year. So I'm just gonna be really excited to hear him.
Oh, we
talk.
gonna fight on that.
Yeah, we gonna definitely have a conversation about that.
I don't burn church at all. I'm gonna fight you on that.
But yeah, man. So make sure you guys tune in next Sunday. Next Wednesday, man. Next Wednesday, we got former Dallas Cowboys safety Barry Church stopping by. Hey, every week, man, I have at least I do my live show throughout the day, but each at least one time a week we'll probably have at least somebody on here to interview. We got a lot of time. We have at least 5 months before the season starts, so we got a whole bunch of time, man. And more importantly, the reason why I bring former players on here, honestly, is so that you guys can hear the perspective of an actual player. Because I think a lot of times you guys think that, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say I think a lot of times, this is what I believe. I believe sometimes I think, you keep hearing the same person say the same thing, even though it may be important, you can lose the context of it because it's coming from West Coast. But when you actually hear a player say this, then you can understand why I think the way I think. You know what I'm saying? And why I say, hey, man, that's what it is. That's what it is, because that's what the player said, man.
That's what the player that's on a high level said. That's you can't ignore that type of insight to go back to couch thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Once somebody tell you it's that way, it's that way, you gotta change your way you think, man. Like,
you got to, man, because now we're speaking on a level from a real perspective and not fairy tales. So and that's the benefit about the podcast world and podcast worlds that's truly independent like you and I, is when we talked to Roy said, I don't like to do interviews. And he was saying that from a standpoint because stuff he says can be taken out of perspective. But when you're dealing with two true independent podcasters, we trying to keep them in context. You know what I mean? We like, no, brother. Anybody that just tried to spaz out on what he was saying, we had his back. Versus other people that might have been writing for, journalists or something. They just trying to get a story. Nah, we just want what's true. That's all we want.
Yeah, man. And
man,
it was a great show, man. Hey,
great
boss,
show,
man, I appreciate you having on. Make sure y'all tune in next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central, right here on West Coast Cowboy. It's also going to be streamed live on Boss Cowboy Sports. So
right, it was streamed live tonight, and I am dropping a video that's strictly going to be on my YouTube tomorrow, and I'm going super deep on why paying Dak $40 million won't put a dent in the cap at all, and it's going to be so clear. And I'm breaking down the television contract. So make sure y'all tune it in for that. I'm only going to post the YouTube link on my page, but you're not going to see an uploaded live video. So keep a lookout for that. Make sure y'all go over there and hit a couple of likes and subscribe so that you can get it as soon as I post it.
Yes, sir. So, hey, man, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Cali time. It's 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Central. 1 p.m. Central. I will be live. And I will be talking about a recap of tonight's show. I will be doing a recap of tonight's show tomorrow at 11. So make sure y'all tune in.
Yeah,
and then we'll be live, man. It's going to be dope, man. So make sure I see y'all tomorrow. Hey, you already know what it is, man. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.